Okay, so we're interested in doing number 14 from the Chapter 6 Mastery, specifically A for the moment. Okay, so part A says we want to factor completely 5x squared minus 245. How do I factor? What's the point? What am I trying to do? Kinda. I'm not foil, but I'm trying to unfoil, right? I've got something multiplied out, and I'm supposed to make this into the factors, right? So this is exactly the opposite of foil, right? Yes? Maybe? What do you notice about this one that tells you something funny happened in foil?
That there's no b?
Yeah, there's no middle term, right? Usually there's like some x squareds and then some x's and then some like numbers, right? This one's got like the x squareds and the numbers, but it's missing that middle bit. Okay, we could think to ourselves, right? We might think this is 5x squared plus 0x minus 245. That's a good thought. That's the thought we'd want to use if we use the like quadratic formula or complete the square or something. Stuff we don't have yet. For right now, what do we think?
You just do the AC method?
We could do the AC method. That's massive overkill for this one.
Okay.
Factor 5 out of 245.
Okay, first, they both have a 5 in them, right?
Yeah.
So I'd pull that first just to get it kind of out of the way. So I've got 5. Wait, what?
No. It's 5. You gotta put the parentheses again.
Okay, put some parentheses and then what?
X squared minus 49.
X squared minus 49?
That's still
Yeah.
square, so.
Okay, now this is something squared minus something squared, right?
You gotta break
What's
it
that?
down. So it's negative.
Yeah, we might think to ourselves, this thing here is something I know as difference of squares, right? So what does difference of squares factor into? You were saying, x plus 7 and x minus 7. You see that?
Yep.
Okay, so what clued me into doing that again?
Lack of a middle term.
Yeah, the lack of a middle term and the minus sign on the number bit, right? Those are always difference of squares. They're a little bit hard sometimes. This one's pretty easy because it's something squared minus something squared. When I have to think about what that thing is a little bit harder, that's when these get tough. But for right now, something squared minus something squared always turns into this guy. And the reason for that is that when I FOIL it back out, right, what happens to the middle terms?
It's 0.
Yeah, they have opposite signs, right? They add to 0. Okay, cool. How about part B? I've got 2ax squared plus 20ax plus 50a. What does this feel like?
There's the common factor of 2 and
Okay, I can pull a 2a right away. Okay, so I pull a 2a. What am I left with?
X squared.
X squared
X
plus,
plus 1.
how many x's?
10.
10 plus, where'd the a go?
Yeah, you took it out because it's common factor.
Wait, but there were 3 of them there. There's only 1 of them here.
What are you talking about?
Good. Thank you.
Oh my god.
Right, there are 3. When I multiply it back in, 1 ends up with each term, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I got this thing. Now what do I think about this?
You still gotta factor it.
Yeah, that's I might think to
Perfect
myself,
square.
this is a perfect square trinomial. So I might think, psst. Right. If I give you that hint, please understand it. What's a perfect square trinomial?
So it is 2a plus 5 squared.
Yeah, so That's x plus 5 squared. Or I could run the AC method on that. Or I could run the whatever regular factoring method is called, right? I don't have a name for that one. Cool?
Cool.
All right, how about this other thing?
On the back of the 5.
Okay. Oh,
You can
got
honestly
some
give it
extra stuff. Okay, so I could factor a 5a out.
5,
A. What am I left with when I do that?
b squared minus x plus xy minus y squared. Oh, yeah, 4xy.
Cool. Good. So we've got 5a b squared minus 5ax plus 20. And then this one needs another 4 too, right? Okay, can I do any better than that?
Yes, you can take the 4s out.
Oh yeah, I could maybe factor by grouping or something. That's not actually factoring the whole thing anymore, right? But we could try that. I'm not sure it's going to help. We might say, all right, we've got 5a, and then what? Wait, what? You going nuts on me? You saw it squared, didn't you? Okay. So we've got b squared minus x, and then out of this stuff we could factor a 4y. And what are we left with after we get a 4y out of it? An x, right? And then a minus y. Is that any better? Nah. Okay, so those are donezo. What was your clue to stop fiddling with this one?
There's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing common and there's 4 terms, right? I didn't really spend a lot of time learning to factor quadnomials, and I don't really care if you can.
Okay.
Cool? So if there's more than 3 terms, you can stop fiddling with it. Cool? All right.